Dreams were made for dreamers to dream and drain the dandruff of drought in their brains. Emaphupho akukameli siwaphuphise, kepha kumele siwaphuphe bese sesiyawakhokha emnyombeni wethu wemicabango. Angikubingelele mbukeli weluhlelo Tandla Nenkhondlo lokubingelelako nguFortunate Mabuza. Angithembe mbukeli ukuthi ema-Easter bekakuphethe kahle. Namuhla elihlelweni sinabo sonkondlo lababili lokungu-silent writer kanye naNdobi Indzabukelwako. Asicale ngaye-ke mbukeli Siyabonga Dlamini sonkondlo wethu walapha nguMahwalala.
First of all, thank you for having me here. Well, the silent writer, Siyabonga Dlamini, born and bred khona la kaNgwane Mbabane to be specific. I'm a writer who basically encapsulates poetry and music, and the kind of poetry that I do, ngingathi to be specific, ngibhica lwimi lesiNgisi nelesiswati, trying to reach the souls out there, because you can agree with me because there's a diversity of languages. Nyalo, we have our youngsters who speak English more than Siswati, and angeke ngithi I can only stick to Siswati ngoba nabo they need to hear the message. So to be specific and to serve the purpose of writing, serve the purpose of being a poet, kumele ngikhulume nawo wonke umuntu, since poetry is basically communicating. So yes, Siyabonga Dlamini. See, every fact matters, now that's a matter of fact, and every dog has its day, yes, they would say, with hope and faith branded in their breath. And I learned to be grateful. For as people on this world, see, as people on this world, we lean on different faces for different cases, different tongues from different races. We seem to want more instead of appreciating what we already have, and just like everyone ungrateful. Now this is what I would do. See, I would close my eyes to fantasize on a world that I have never been to, wishing and hoping to wake up in a home that had brightly coated walls, the hood walls be dressed in graffiti art that draws my whole being within, making me retrieve everything in my heart. But just like aesthetic models, we were too blind to value the slap of grace in our face. Yet once we have lost all the good, we face back to the first phase for good. Now who is to blame when the blame is in your name, like the name Gertrude? Before temptations can interlude, I close my eyes again, letting my mind slip into the four corners of my brain. That's when I realize the silver spoon obsession is in vain. So how could I paint a picture with those fading colorings? Now faith is my coloring. Faith is my coloring for painting pictures and removing blemishes, leaving emotions metaphorically expressed to be stainless and real. Be still, I will not hesitate to unfold your brains that meditate on earthly fate. Blindfolded saints, open your eyes and appreciate the grace of God and God alone. See, I saw the power of Christ when my stepfather was saved from excruciating tuberculosis. I slept with my eyes open just to see all my dreams. But can you ever imagine the experience of watching your breadwinner lie sick on the floor? All I could do was put my faith on the cross as mom wept in sackcloth, fasting, prayer, and petition. Tears began to roll back in my eyes. My eyes began to roll back in my face as I faced back to the cross where Jesus Christ never lied but still was crucified. See, the Father turned his back on the Son put back his life for us to be put back in line, and I, like the prodigal son, came back to my senses and sensing that heavenly intervention for my transformation. See, according to my Lakshan culture, all stars will converse in confession of sins. Ever since that moment, my tongue hymns like intando emnandi ngeyakho Nkosi, like mayiguculo eyami ifaniswe neyakho, to prove that every fact matters. Now that's a matter of fact, and every dog has its day, they would say, with hope and faith branded in their breath. So I learned to be grateful. I learned and started to be grateful of all the nights I wrapped myself with a warm blanket. Bear in mind, others are coiling their bodies under bridges. Counting stars in the sky has become their lullaby, but I have learned and started to be grateful of all the evenings I have a warm plate on my table. Bear in mind, others are digging in trash cans. I learned and started to be grateful of all the mornings I wake up with a smile on my face. Now bear in mind, others see daylight is another struggle to push their backs back against the back wall. Now you all should be grateful for whatever occupation you have, whatever commodity you need, and bear in mind, others have nothing but only brag about the air they breathe. See, every fact matters. Now that's a matter of fact. Every fact matters. That's a matter of fact. The silent writer name is not just a stage name. Okay, this word could be fancy for stage performances, but it's an epitome of who I am. Ngingumuntu who is an introvert, if I may put it that way. Lo fela ngekhatsi, if I may use that word. I usually have a very brief, not a far-fetched circle, so relate nabo. So instead of putting feeling a cut any longer, I resorted to writing, so which means so in short, I'm basically a silent person who writes. What inspires my writings has to be what happens in the society, firstly, and what happens in the world at large, because I feel as though the standard that I've taken is not just a standard for glitz and glamour and the flashy lifestyle, but it's actually a standard whereby I am more of a vessel, a middle person standing up for those who are deprived the right to say whatever they feel inside, because other people cannot be as gifted as poets can be. Sometimes they may not have the perfect words to say in terms of expressing how they feel. So basically, I would say I'm inspired by what the society says. So my poetry is basically about Christian writings, matters of the cross. I'm inspired by Christianity. I'm inspired by social ills, political ills, and matters of faith, basically. Awunanvotsa mfati utihlalele indandatho emnweni nyalo seyijinge yaba luhlazo luyawuhlukana nalo ekufeni ebusweni lusizi lugcame njengenhloko emshweni umyeni wakho sowahlala emaphusheni kodwa ebusheni wawufisa umendvo nyalo konke lokho khohloke njengemadolo ekuseni kuseni uma indvodza isahamba ibhamba ikhohlwe ngemndeni umyeni sowahlala emaphusheni emehlo safukamele sitiba selusizi bantfana babuke wena njengemsizi welikhaya leselasima ngetitfaba imvama umyeni wadliwa tintsaba tindzaba tivela ngetimbobo temuhlwa nakuhlwa lithemba lelotita nawukotita emendveni yeheni ubheka elukhalweni mhlambeni likhwa lisatobuya likubambe elukhalweni njengemihla leyo mihla nemalanga yashona nakushona lilanga nyalobudze besikhatsi budale umkhatsi loveta lingekhatsi kungathi tindlebe netihlatsi tehlukaniswe lihlatsi inhlitiyo ngomthakathi uma abantfana babe soloku bafuna babe abe ngubabe lo babe kela umlandvo ngesibongo sinongo kule nkondlo ngisiveta nani veta tinyembedle letingangivumeli nginivumele nibone ukuthi akanandvodza lomfati utihlalele. But this is not just any poem, but a poem for umama, the kind of mother loshintsha igrosa ibe kudla ngisho yena kanye umshini oyishintshayo, for she prepares food for her family, despises Hennessy and never roams the streets. Instead, early kusenombo she rises up to clean and sweep ngalana abe athulisa ingani ngani nguye lofutfumalisa likhaya mngani. And today we celebrate her kind noma kanjani. See, today we celebrate the kind of mother who, even without a man, the might of her works might work as if she is the man. Not just any man, but the kind of man and woman, the kind of male and female, the kind of Mr. and Mrs. Mistress your love even I cannot express. Ngoba ungumduduzi ulthandvo and a painkiller to every distress. With sticks and stones she builds a future for her children, the kind of mother lopatala skolo naga hola a salary of just selling fruits and verge. Now, as you are on the verge of being entertained and stained by this poem, to her this poem is more like a badge of hard work. Her tears will never kiss the ground. Every voice she utters is branded with light. Sebangacisha lo gesi. She is rooted on solid ground. Akakhweshi elokhuza neni enhloko udukile. Bantu bakhe bakhuliswe ngenhlonipho akekho lodukile. So why do we shy away from celebrating this noble women? These noble women are the kind of women we should celebrate day in and day out. For this is not just a poem, but a poem for umama. Well, the greatest award that I've achieved, it must be winning souls, basically, because I want to be specific about that. Ngoba, my understanding of achieving, you cannot achieve what you do not set your mind to. You know, you have to put your mind to the prize. You have to have a main goal in order to achieve that, right? So my highest achievement is not maybe measured in monetary value, in the number of awards or trophies, but it is basically about touching souls. You know, I might come to an event and let me make an example, say, 1,000 people, lapo, respectively. After reciting a poem, then one person says, wow, you know, you just gave me something to think about. You actually gave me an answer to what I was going through. That, to me, is an achievement, the greatest achievement. A wise man once said, the rays of an African sunshine are like a pair of scissors. A pair of scissors cutting the blanket of dawn from the sky. And I said, so the sky looks very high, yet seems very nigh when I look with an eye that will scrutinize and identify the fine distance between the sky and the landscape. I mean the African landscape. So the African landscape possesses caves used as a harbor for warriors during the ancient landscape. Now before these memories wax off tears from my lacrimal, and before the eye land on African soil, I land my medulla into the gape, beauty of Africa, where I escape to behold the bold sanctuary of a Mlilwane wildlife, denoting life to every African child. Every African child, when adorned by the native regalia, looks immortal with bare feet like iron feet, accessorized by the crystal hue, gleaming like guinea glass stemware carved into unthinkable shapes. Now shapes complement the sculptured gardens, even waterfalls cannot stop, but keep on falling for the beauty of Africa. Hence I proclaim and claim the status of being a true African. I proclaim and claim the status of being a true African. I am a true African without discriminating any other clan. Imi fula yendlula ngekuthula kujula ngemculo nesibhaca lucapho lolungayubhaca kuleti ntsaba leti qukethe tindzaba leti buyisela ludvumo kumveli nkhandi kusukela nkhandi. Inhlonipho yayikatse ibandi isihlanganisa kuhle kwenhlandi nemandi kuthandi. Ogogo mkhulu basishiyene nsayeya lenkhulu kakhulu, basishiyana indilinga kodwa hayi ke umculo nyalo etulu. Ngibona sibhakabhaka bhaka tinkhanyeti leti tinkhanyeti tikha linyenti lemaphupho elunyenti laletsa kukhanya Eswatini. Wena ke awati ini, for even though I am mesmerized and in awe, it is obvious that I know when I've been told that counting stars as they pass is an omen to all men, a simple conversion of turning your bed into a Maguga dam. However, I am certain that it is an astronomical omen to all men if all men act as though they do not know that it is no asterisk to lose sight of this constellation, tantamount to Swazi candles lit aglow. They know that as Africans we calculate events by the moon that circulate. Now how dare you call African time being late for our wrists? Our wrists are not shackled by the hands of time. So how do you expect us to keep time we have our own time. This is time for Africa. Now this is time for Africa.
Lo munye lesithole lithuba lekuxoxisana naye phinze ahaye Tandla Nenkhondlo ngunondobeko Ndzabkelwako lo watiwa ngaNdobi the poet umfana phela wakhe umfundisi.
Ngindobi mine nondobeko silinganiso Ndzabkelwako. Abantu bavame cabanga ukuthi lo Ndobi akusiligama lami bamba mistake bathi ngindombi but angisuye ndombi ngindobi. Ngihlala kaManzini, ngihlala nemndeni wami. Baba umfundisi so ngi-PK. I'm a poet as well, but more than being a poet, I'm an artist. So like I'm also a photographer. I like to express myself through other art forms. I like to create, Tandla, anything. So yes, in a nutshell,
wipe the salty water from your face. Open up all your gates. Haven't you heard that he is risen? Yes, the King of Kings is risen. The Lord of Lords is risen. He is risen for the sole reason that in this season you may be returned and reconnected to the realms of God the Father. I repeat, Christ Jesus is risen for the sole reason that in this season you may be returned and reconnected to the realms of God the Father. See, Christ Jesus had to fulfill his will, only to fulfill the greatest will, the Father's will. Even though he willed that the cup would pass, he still fulfilled the Father's will. A bag of gold, coins and a cold kiss caused Christ Jesus to be held captive and sentenced to crucifixion. Don't you know that Jesus had done nothing wrong when they pierced his sacred skull with the thorny crown? The Son of Man had not wronged any man when his own creation cursed him, spewing hate-filled saliva in his face. Don't you know that the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings had done nothing wrong when he was mercilessly whipped? Over and over he was whipped. Repeatedly he was whipped. 39 times he was whipped. Even when Jesus wept, he was still whipped. When they drilled and drove nails into his hands and feet, Christ was driven by the love that he felt as his heart would beat, such that he prayed earnestly, saying, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." And when the hour had come that he sipped the last drop from his cold cup, he cried out, "It is finished," and breathed his last. But please, wipe the salty water from your face. Come on and open up all your gates. Haven't you heard that he is risen? Yes, the King of Kings is risen. The Lord of Lords is risen. Christ Jesus is risen for the sole reason that in this season you may be returned and reconnected to the realms of God the Father. See, Jesus the Christ resurrected from the dead on the third day. That is why it is finished, for he is risen. My Lord is risen.
I've always been creative ebuncaneni. Ngilomphanje lobekathandza creator kwenta, but because art is not something, especially in the past, it wasn't something lebesibuka ngeliso yokuthi you could actually pursue it. It was sort of like nje hobby noma into loyendele eceleni. So I never really thought of art as something I could do ngenhlitiyo yami yonke, even though bengithanda. But yeah, me and art sabe sesiyahlangana kahle nangisemvasi ngoba ngabona ukuthi okay, actually you can pursue it. Okay, so lokwendeka ngami ke bengi part of a production called The Cry on the Cross, which is a church production which was done by umfundisi Pastor Tete. So he's a creative man. So the production involved dance, poetry, music and all that. So I was part of let dance. Angwathi nalokujaiva but nje let dance let's incorporate a song here. I want a contemporary dance. And then into the production he was like, "Oh, I think na poem na khona nabafuna ku memorize le poem." And then ndabachingisa how to recite it. Oh, ngayithatha poem, and then it was a 3-page poem. Nangifunza poem, I'm like, how poetry is so amazing, because I was only exposed to written word, the lesifunza esikolweni literature. So to me poetry was not that amazing. But now sengibona the spoken word, because I mostly do spoken word poetry. I was like, wow, poetry is beautiful. So besing 3, and all of us finally memorize it like a page. But I memorized the whole poem. I was so excited. And then as figure again, how to, render it or recite it. I was like, wow. So my background is that I'm a very shy person. Like being nomphana, yabo labantwana bakhulumisa. Wabathi yamkhulumisa umphana, angakhoni khuluma. Like I come from that background. But poetry gave me a voice. Like I sort of came out of that shell. So that was in 2011. And bengiperforma le poem yakhe lo Pastor Tete nje banise bangathi ngepoem bengingabhali kubhala ngakuqala sengisemvasi nakhona bengisaba lokuqala kubhala because ngaqala kuperform ipoem that was already at a high standard, so bengibangaza ukuthi ngasuke ngithi ngiyabhala nje yabo kungasabonakala ukuthi like nguye lo ntombi lo, but it worked out. I was pushed by other poets that encouraged me to write.
It is 2 in the afternoon. We are gathered in the living room. You are grey and ash, a fading full moon yet still. I can see rose petals bloom in your eyes when you blink. They remind me that under that grey and ash it is still you, hidden, under an exhausted system with the air, struggling to pick up your lungs and a heart that is counting down to its last beating. You are living and well, grandmother. We sit around you. Women of different ages, amassing your wit, a cascade of color spectrums of forever dancing with infinity. We sit around you, amazed at how a woman of your age manages to muster a smile in the face of all that pain. We are grass strands. You are a wild breeze. We dance to your rhythm, soak in your oxygen, swallow in your words. Time rests itself on your hands. You turn back its hands to take us back in time, to a time in your living room, a moment of lovers, sacred and silent. You take us back to the time when the fingers of the hands that once found solace in strumming against the strings of your glistening skin, composing music only lovers can sing, music only lovers can sing, changed, transformed themselves into cymbals for hands, clanging themselves against your aghair skin, playing a song you could no longer sing. Grandmother, we are grass strands. You are a wild breeze. We dance to your rhythm, soak in your oxygen, swallow in your words, and then burning words fell out of your lover's lips, with their flames running to lick the bridge you had taken so long to build, spewed by your heart, entangled with amnesia of the meaning of love, of forever and ever. After your lover screamed at you to leave, you stood there, your feet rusted roots on cold concrete, your heart throwing itself against its rib cage without wind or storm. Your words picked up their crowns because they knew they were born of a queen. You stood there and told your lover you were not leaving him. And then you began to pick up the broken bricks of the bridge you had taken so long to build and mended it with blood, love and resistance, because relationships are built with blood, love and resistance. And with resistance, you took the ship out for sail again, captained it to happily ever after. It is 3 in the afternoon. We are back in the living room.
Yes, I have had achievement. Sometimes it's hard for me to acknowledge them. You know, when you feel like you're undeserving. But last year, I won an award under the National Arts and Culture Awards for Best Poet. And all that for me, I would say, is really the grace of God. Like, I'm not going to say I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, honestly. And I've also had the opportunity to be exposed to platforms I would ever be exposed to. Like, I've performer before His Majesty, it's the SADC State Banquet, and also another SADC gig for under Ministry of Health and Mineral Resources. And I've also had the opportunity last month, we are SH for a poetry festival. So I never actually thought to perform poem to go to and be exposed with other poets. So to see actually a poetry I clean like on stage. You know, there's so much more that we can do, and it's an actual industry. You know, yeah. So in a nutshell, okay. So far I won't say. Okay, the plans are solid. They're very vague. Obviously, but okay, because with other poets we always have lama aspirations. Okay, this is what we want to do. We want to perform more. We want to put it like Kamanzin, for example, because usually Mbaba and it's a more active art space than Manzin. So Kamanzin, we are trying to do something under the lineup, like an organization called the Lineup Siyazama Performer. And also we also want to go into schools as well, because you know, that's where you're able to inspire like especially kids labasaqala ukubhala bangadova ngathi nje poetry, because in the poetry besibuka ngalinye liso, especially nasesikolweni, kanti it's a very broad thing. So I think it's just sort of to reach out, you know, in the other spheres, like especially like schools. Yeah.
Menzini, I am packed with 14 other sardines in a moving white box. The exhaust pipe paints the sky with burning grey gas. Our breathing pipes release a decrescendo of relief played with silent prayers of gratitude. We are insignificant in this orchestra of hissing brakes, screaming horns and clanging chatter, and I am here to run errands on a tight budget. Out of my bag of multiple faces, I grab up my ninja face, quickly throw it on, and the bus rank coughs me up on the KFC pavement. The mouth of the sapien swarming across the street is drooling at the prospect of devouring me before the second splits. My survival instinct has managed to drag me to the left side of the road, and I am safe. The pavement is a horizontal escalator, and before I can catch my breath, I've passed the power building. Oh my gosh, I need to make sure that this face is on right because it's about to go down. Siqhina enhloko sisi. Sisi buyastaqhina sithanda utabamuhle sisi stakushipisela for the 7,219th time. Angifuni kuqhina enhloko bosisi, but I don't tell them that. I unhear them. I unsee them. These people should know by now that I am not interested in doing my hair with them. Ugh, Manzini. It's 2 p.m. in Manzini. I am here to run errands on a tight budget. I have my ninja. Oh my gosh. That feeble old lady is begging for money a meter away from where I'm walking. These barricades won't even allow me to cross now. What? The walkway miraculously cleared? So how will I shield myself from her pleading brown eyes? They always waltz through my heart's chambers and leave me at her mercy. But no, I know. Not today, Ndobi. I know if I focus hard enough, I'll be able to drown off the sound of her voice with the sound of talking engines. I am walking as far away from her as possible. I'm not giving her a cent. I need to satisfy my former habits more than she needs a meal. That's even if she really needs a meal. And plus, I've been offline for 4 hours, 14 minutes and 14 seconds. The world needs, no, I need the world. And anyways, why is she even sitting on this pavement? Her children must have their hearts ripped out. Can somebody please put a Ndobi, don't walk here sign? Oh, Manzini. It's 8 p.m. in Manzini, a warm night at Brema. My bro and I are cruising down by Likaka. Ugh, the robot just turned red. My brother is being a harassenger, harassing me while I drive. Ulchiganjani Ilkona. Really, Ndobi? Is that how you stop? Give me the car and let me drive. I tell him no. I'm the eldest. I'm the one with the license, so I get to drive because I'm better. He says no, he's better. I say no, I'm better. Now we're going back and forth about who's better, and our mindless chatter is thrown out the window by a fragile voice. My first instinct is to lock the doors again, roll up the windows. This child could be part of a hijacking syndicate for all I know, but his innocent plea arrests my heart with guilt, and now I am trapped. In a moment of mind over matter, I cannot move. This child could be genuine. It's taken my mind 5 long seconds to process his question. Think, Ndobi, think. Mom's changed. Yes. No, I can't give him the 50. Yo, go out. Oh, there's 150. That should help. Help ease my conscience and keep the monsters in his stomach quiet for a while. His lips break into a broad smile. He jumps off. I hear children shrieking in the distance. It's 8 in Manzini, and I am shaken. Shaken and left with questions. Questions I don't want the answers to.
How would I encourage? Okay, if you already know what you that's okay. And even if I want and unaile interest, it's okay. You can start writing. But I would say also ukahle ukuthi umuntu ade expose nangabe uyakhona to get onto YouTube and you know ubone ukuthi labanye poets endani, get onto YouTube ubuke and see what kind of style, because there's lots of styles, and sometimes as an artist you need to find your voice, yabo. So like exposing yourself, like attend my poetry shows, I would encourage that. And also if you have someone like Lomatiko that you can reach out to, like longa khona umkhulumiso umbude buda, because ngalesinye isikhathi sifunza kakhulu ngekubuda ukuthi lokwendiwa njani yabo, sonke siyafunza vele. But I would just say also dream big, like don't limit yourself, you know, like and don't be scared. because sometimes isibanjwa ifiye nje acabanga ukuthi no lento yami no angifihle noma ngendeka so ungasabi ngoba yeah kusaba kude la kutakubeka khona yabo so just pursue what you really makes your heart to be on fire the best way you can like yeah.
Ngiyethemba ulithokotelo lihlelo mbukeli usawuchubeka sikulethele bona bosonkondlo kanye nebamflabenda imisebenzi yetandla balapha ekhaya eSwatini. Namuhla ngisho ngithi usale kahle.